And we are live, Mets fans. I'm going to wait another second or two to get everyone in here. But how's it going, everybody? Let's get some dubs in the chat. As you guys can see, I'm currently away. I'm in my car, just left Citi Field. The New York Mets win another ball game. They have now won, six straight now, if I'm not mistaken? 5 or 6. Either way, I'm riding high. I know you guys are too. I want to give my quick recap and raw reaction from tonight's 6-2 dub over the Cincinnati Reds. You saw Cookie Carrasco have an absolute blast of an outing. The Mets get the offense when needed per usual. And guys, the Mets get the job done. And what do, folks? When they score in the first, the second, or the third, you know that they're going to be making great things happen. Don't worry, I am not driving right now. I'm parked in my car, but I had to go live quick, guys, for our however long we're going to go right now. I appreciate everyone here in the live show. If you're watching on replay as well, make sure to smash that like and subscribe. And as always, folks, how we feeling tonight, Mets fans? I'm feeling electric. Had an absolute blast of a time at Citi Field tonight. Shout out again to my buddy Chris, who's a phenomenal subscriber on the channel, for coming out and actually setting me up with tickets with him today. We were behind home plate in the 319 section. Beautiful seats. Was with my buddy Sean as well. It was so much fun. So again, shout out to everyone that I got to interact with at today's game. And guys, I'm just so pumped up. I got a lot of saying here. Hyping the chat to you all. Again, appreciate every single one of you guys chiming in, guys. Let's talk about this Mets game for a couple minutes, shall we? Because look, I entered this game. You saw Mike Minor on the bump, like a 1-8 record, a 6.19 ERA. I'm feeling solid about the Mets' chances to win this one, absolutely. And for the Mets, you see Cookie Carrasco, who's done nothing but absolutely shove over his a good amount of starts now, especially in the second half. Cookie has looked really strong, and we saw that all on display tonight, guys. Again, I appreciate every single one of you guys chiming in. We got upwards of 200 viewers already. Thank you so much. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe on. Help us get 100 likes for the first short-term goal. Help us get 18K subs for the next short-term goal. As always, folks, guys, first of all, let me know in the live chat, how's the audio, how's the video? I know that, again, this is not my normal setup. I'm in a car. I quite literally just exited Citi Field. I'm chilling in the marina lot as we speak before I head back home for my long trip to PA. But again, I'm riding high. I'm feeling electric. I know you guys are too. Let's talk about the New York Mets here, folks, because we saw the Mets come out today. And in the first, they had a couple guys on. You saw Mark Canha get on with an infield single. You saw multiple guys get on. However, the Mets were not able to drive in a run. Mike Minor gets out of the first inning surprisingly unscathed. And the Reds, they look like they're going to try to do some damage. No, Cookie Carrasco is going to strike you out left and right. Cookie ended up with his final line being just under 7 innings, giving up 2 earned runs because of that Fraley bomb he gave up in the 7th. 9 strikeouts for Cookie Carrasco, baby. We love to see that. But the offense was really, really strong that I saw. You saw in the third, guys, he finally started to step up. And who was the man? It's the same man that's been doing so well on the right side of the plate, something that he didn't do at all the first half of the season, folks. We know the story. Francisco Lindor in the first half of the year, pre-All-Star break, was really not hitting well from the right side of the plate. He was a very Jekyll and Hyde hitter. From the left side, he was a lock, batting around 300. But from the right side, not looking good, right around 200, if not lower at times. But he would get all of that one, pulling that bad boy to left. He would get himself a 2-run bomb to give the Mets the early 2-0 lead, and they would never look back. That was my biggest takeaway. When you know Francisco Lindor is going to hit a home run within the first couple innings, you know great things are surely going to happen for this club. And ultimately, they're more than likely going to win a ball game, and that was surely there for sure. But we don't just see Lindor, guys. We see the Mets continue to tack on more offense in this one, because in the fourth, you see Jeff McNeil McHits, no, more like McBombs, baby. Jeff gets a solo bomb. He only has a handful of home runs on the year, but he barreled a bad boy, lefty on lefty against Minor without a problem. Mets are already up 3-0 in this ball game, folks. As we advance forward in the sixth, guys, this is someone who I said pregame on Twitter. I tell you guys all the time, when Darren Ruff is facing a southpaw, you know that there's a great chance of him doing well. And he didn't do just well against lefties, but he absolutely raked against righties today too, folks. Ruff, who again, his first couple at-bats got nothing going. However, we saw there later in this one, in the sixth, he would get himself a beautifully placed double. And then right after that, folks, you would then see the Mets be able to drive in that run, thanks to the same man that drove in the third run of the game for the Mets, that being in Jeff McNeil, with an RBI single, just got out of the reaching glove of, I believe it was Jonathan India. Could be wrong. I know it definitely looked like it was India there, right around second base, gets it through the hole. The Mets are now up 4-0 at that point. Steven, thank you so much for the new membership here in the show. I greatly appreciate it. But the Mets already up 4-zip in this ball game, folks. And in the seventh, Cookie would get worked a little bit. He would give up a bomb to Fraley, who had 2 infield singles yesterday somehow, who was doing quite literally little to nothing that we saw for a good portion of this entire season. We've seen it in the past too. He was with the Mariners, wasn't hitting well. With the Reds, has not hit well at all. However, for whatever reason, just doing well against the Mets. Had a couple infield singles yesterday. Had a no doubt absolute bomb of a piss missile, 2-run shot to make it within scoring range for the Reds to make a ball game out of this. Cookie would exit the game. Michael Givens, the former Cincinnati Red, now this year the Chicago Cub, and now a New York Met, gets it out of the jam without a problem, folks. And then the bullpen would take over, as with the Mets offense. In the seventh, they were not done. Oh, the Mets just gave up a couple runs? Not a problem. Right away, the Mets would find themselves with Tomas Nido, an opposite field base knock. Mark Canha with a hit-by-pitch. The Mets' 76th hit-by-pitch of the year. I love SNY's broadcast and what they do, showing the highlights of Buck. You know, you got the music going, the siren, the ew, that type of thing with the red and all the hit-by-pitches flashing as if he was having, like, PTSD from war flashbacks. It was funny as all hell. But you see there, Canha gets the hit-by-pitch, and Pete Alonso's intentionally walked. And guys, when Alonso was intentionally walked, the first thing that I was saying to myself was, all right, Vogel's going to be coming in a pinch hit. However, you saw Vogel get the helmet on the dugout. At least I did from my vantage point. The Mets stayed with Darren Ruff. And I was originally going to tweet out, guys, for people that are worried why the Mets went with Ruff there in the seventh, righty on righty, when he doesn't have nearly as good of numbers against righties as he does lefties, it made sense because the Reds had a southpaw warmed up and ready to go in the pen. If the Mets went to Daniel Vogelbach in that situation, the Reds surely would have brought out their southpaw, and Vogelbach is a far worse hitter against lefties than Darren Ruff is against righties. So the matchup was still in the Mets' favor to a degree. They go with Darren Ruff, and first pitch swing, and Darren Ruff, one of the big multiple acquisitions Mets made by the trade deadline, gets himself a no doubt opposite field 2 RBI single to increase the Mets' lead 6-2 at that point, and that would end up being your final score. Trevor May would come in for a scoreless eighth, and Seth Lugo shuts the door down in the ninth, and the Mets find themselves now 33 games above 500. Guys, let me know in the chat. I really am curious. I do believe, did the Boston Red Sox win or lose today? I know it went to extras. I don't know if they won or lost, so let me know in the live chat. I'm curious. However, the Mets got another Series W without a problem whatsoever. This team has been so entertaining to watch, guys. Every single time that they go out there and they surrender a couple runs, you know it's not going to last long for this club because they're just so resilient. They are always managing to find ways to win, regardless on if you're the depleted Cincinnati Reds or if you're more of a top dog in the Atlanta Braves and the LA Dodgers, the New York Yankees. It's still tied in extra innings. Oh, okay. That's very interesting. We'll see what happens there. I did see the Red Sox picked up Hanser Robles' buddy from the New York Mets and Jeurys Familia. That's interesting. Heimblum, what are you doing, baby? I don't know. Red Sox, however, they're having a piss-poor second half, so there's a lot of things they're doing wrong right now. Braves are up 9-7 in the 11th. They'll probably win. We'll see what happens. All I know is that the Mets just don't stop winning, folks. They're rolling right now. They're 72-39 on the season. So more than anything, guys, my over 200 live viewers right now, I'm going to be wrapping up the show soon. I do want to get those W's in the chat, guys. Spam those W's in the live show right now. Let me see in the chat. People on replay, continue spamming those W's in the comments too. I greatly appreciate it. But man, oh man, I'm now 5-1 in attendance for New York Mets games this year. The only game the Mets have lost I was in attendance with was a 1-run differential of a loss against the Philadelphia Phillies in that doubleheader in Philly earlier this year in either April or May. I honestly forget which month it was, but I know the Mets won and lost one of those games. Seabass and Scherzer were the two starters. Outside of that, though, I've been looking really good at Mets games so far. So there's a great chance I'll be in attendance this Friday. If I'll be there Friday, you know it's going to be a great matchup. Mad Max Scherzer will be on the bump against Ranger Suarez, I'm almost certain. I will be discussing that more in my next episode of Bleav in Queens, episode 13. Should be coming out either Thursday or at latest early Friday. Myself, Joe Sorallo, and Anthony Recker, the former New York Met, now MLB Network analyst and Apple TV analyst, so stay tuned for that one. We'll be recapping this Red Series victory and taking a deep dive into this big matchup here against the Philadelphia Phillies. But guys, I just feel great. I really do. Everything about this Mets team right now, top to bottom, the bullpen shuts it down. I was happy Givens was in there, even though he didn't pitch long. It was nice to see Givens in that spot against his former club. I wouldn't even be surprised if we see Givens potentially pitch again tomorrow, depending on how deep Ty goes. It'll be a nice test for Ty after giving up 8 earned and only an inning, his worst start of the year by far. I'm very curious to see how he's going to do. I Bleav that's a 1:40 p.m. Eastern start, so it's going to be an early day for me tomorrow. I'm not going to be back home until very late tonight here on the East Coast, but that's okay. We'll cover the Mets game tomorrow with post-game show, hopefully after a series sweep. But man, oh man, this team, guys, how do you not feel good about this team? I mean, I was talking with the guys around me. I was talking with everyone that I interacted with that tonight's game that shouted me out. Greatly appreciate all you guys. Braves win out of that. Who cares? It doesn't matter. What does matter is that the Mets continue to roll. They continue to win, guys. And that is surely true here, as they are now, again, 33 games above 500. I know you probably see me spitting on the screen. I apologize, guys, but I just feel electric. I mean, this team, every single time I've been watching them, it's so refreshing to see a club now that even the second half especially, it doesn't matter if you're the best or the worst team. They approach you the same. This is something that the Mets, to a degree, were not doing in the first half. They were struggling in some series. You know, that 4-game split against the Miami Marlins still bothered me, right, in Miami. I mean, there's a lot of series for the Mets that they should have done maybe a little bit better of, or should have gotten a series sweep. I fully expect them to get the sweep tomorrow. Hopefully Ty has his stuff and is healthy. But all I got to say is my big takeaway from tonight's game, guys, is this team is consistent. They're on a roll, and there's a reason why they are one of the best teams, if not the best team in baseball right now. You could rightfully argue outside the LA Dodgers. But we look at now what is ahead for the Mets with Ty tomorrow, and we look at the future of this club down the stretch, guys. The balance that the Mets have in the Daniel Vogelbacks, in the Darren Ruffs, and in the Tyler Naquins is truly X factors for them beyond belief. This has given Buck Showalter so much flexibility in how he can utilize his lineup, how he can get creative, and keep guys healthy, keep guys loose. Again, the Mets have double headers coming up. They have that big 4-game stretch against that being in the Atlanta Braves next week. So there's big matchups still to be had. But if you keep these guys fresh and you have guys that are just elite platoons, you know, upwards of 900 OPS against righties or lefties, it's the best of both worlds. The Mets are just so destined right now to make great things happen on every given night. I mean, to say I was surprised by the Mets win tonight would be the farthest thing from the truth. You expect that with this club. Last year, when we were talking right around this time, folks, the Mets were losing games against the Pittsburgh Pirates, right? Either at home or away. They started their downfall in the second half last year. However, right now, the Mets have now casually won 14 of their past 16 ball games. Francisco Lindor now is 2 RBIs away from tying Jose Reyes' team record for the most RBIs in franchise history from a shortstop. Man, oh man, this team's thriving. I'm feeling electric. I know you guys are too. But guys, that is going to wrap up our quick post game. Normally, I would stay live longer. Make sure to smash that like and subscribe one for your boy. I got a long hike, 2+ hours back home to Pennsylvania. So that'll do it for this one. But I want to thank everyone so much that chimed in, heard my quick reaction, raw reaction to tonight's 6-2 victory over the Cincinnati Reds. They look for the series sweep tomorrow with Taijuan Walker on the bump against a no-name Red starter who I Bleav is making his MLB debut, or at least his season debut for the Reds, guys. Had so much fun in attendance. Thank you all so much, everyone that came up to me. Shout out. We took some photos. Had an absolute blast. I will see you guys tomorrow, more than likely, for post-game show. Hopefully after a series sweep. But until then, have a great rest of your night, day, evening, whenever you're watching this. And as always, everybody, let's go Mets, baby. Have a great one, folks. Peace out.